Hello everyone, Scylez here. Recently I was playing a trivia game, and one of the questions was, what percentage of marshmallows are in the cereal Lucky Charms? I guessed around 10%, but the answer was shockingly enough 25%. So I immediately called BS on this, but the Lucky Charms brand seems to claim that this 25% is actually true. And now, see, being someone with one of their favorite foods is marshmallows, I decided to take it upon myself to find out if they're really lying or not. If you're asking yourself why I chose to do this, then you share a common wonder with myself, because I don't really know. So if you're also asking yourself why my mouth isn't synced up with my words, well, it's because of the myriad of technical problems I've had while creating this video. One of those problems is talking with this getup on makes it almost impossible for you to understand what I'm saying. The microphone just can't pick up my voice. Other issues I've run into are my camera just randomly seemed to break. My cat seems to like to knock over all the cereal off of my desk, and dealing with crashes in Sony Vegas. Now, if you're wondering if I wrote that in the script, or if I went back afterwards and added this into the video, it's the latter, because I've dealt with so many crashes in Sony Vegas so far and lost so much progress, I felt like I had to go back and add this into the technical problem section. So there we go. But despite all of this, nothing will stop my marshmallow conquest. First things first, I need some cereal. So I got 3 different kinds here just to make sure that I didn't get a bad box and to make sure that I have a good overall view of the Lucky Charms brand. So I've got the regular Lucky Charms. This edition has unicorns in it. I've got Fruity Lucky Charms, which I didn't even know existed really until I went to the store earlier today. And then I've also got this limited edition Leprechaun run, I guess, that's just got pots of gold and charms, or Lucky Charms. So, hey, I'll give it a shot. So this starts the long process of counting out all the charms, since they just make a claim of 25% flat. I've got no clue if that's by volume, by weight, by count, so I'm going to test all 3. Why not? First off, I started counting out the cereal by hand, which means counting off every marshmallow and every charm and tallying them up. But this was taking hours, and my camera stopped recording at the very beginning, and I got about 17 seconds of footage before I had to switch to a new camera. So, yeah, that's fun. So instead of counting out every cereal bit, I figured I'll find a better way of doing it, and we can do this by weighing it. Each piece of cereal weighs about 0.12 grams, and each marshmallow weighs about 0.27 grams. So after I separate all the cereal and the marshmallows, I can get a final weight and then see how much cereal and marshmallows there are in all. So after going through and separating all of the marshmallows and all the cereals in the first box, we get a grand total of 8.5 cups of cereal versus 2.5 cups of marshmallows, 321 grams of cereal versus 92 grams of marshmallows, and for the count, we get 2,675-ish pieces of cereal versus 341 pieces of cereal. Now, if we do the math on all of this, we can see that 25% would be 2.7 cups of cereal, it would be 103.25 grams of cereal, or it would be 754 pieces of marshmallows. So, in actuality, this regular box of cereal contains only 23% of marshmallows if you go by volume. It contains 22.3% marshmallows if you're going by weight, and it contains only 11.3% marshmallows if you're going by the count. So, very disappointing, not 25%. Their claims are bogus on this piece of cereal, but we got 2 more boxes to go. So let's try them out. Box number 2, Fruity Flavor Cereal. Tastes like Fruity Pebbles. So basically it's Fruity Pebbles with marshmallows. Counting it all out, separating it all out, we get 7 cups of cereal and 2 cups of marshmallows. 264 grams of cereal and 77 grams of marshmallows. And if we do the math on this, that means we get 2,200 pieces of cereal versus only 285 marshmallows. Not very many at all. So once again, doing the math on this, we would see that 25% marshmallows would actually be 2.25 cups, 85.25 grams, or it would be 621 marshmallows. So this one's also very disappointing. We actually only have 22% marshmallows if we're going by volume, and we only have 22.6% marshmallows if we're going by weight. And a very disappointing 11.5% marshmallows if we're going just by the count. So that's not looking good, 2 for 2. Let's go on to the third box. Once we get everything separated, we get a count of 6 cups of cereal versus 2 cups of marshmallows, 221 grams of cereal versus 79 grams of marshmallows, and we get a count of 1,841 pieces of cereal versus 293 pieces of marshmallows. For volume, 25% would actually be 2 cups, meaning that this one actually has 25% marshmallows by volume. For weight, we have 25% would actually be 75 grams, which means once again, we have actually 26.3% marshmallows. And then last, by count, 25% would actually be 533 pieces of marshmallows. And unfortunately, this one fails as well, with only 13.8% marshmallows. But that's still much better than the 11% for both other boxes. So all in all, we have all 3 boxes here. Now, only 1 out of 3 boxes actually had 25% marshmallows if you did it in certain ways, such as weight or volume, but not by count, not by a long shot. Now, this might be because the marshmallows are so much bigger than the pieces of cereal. You can fit much more cereal in than marshmallows, but the marshmallows also weigh more than the cereal. So you'd think that maybe they'd even it out with the weight then, or the volume, but they don't. Well, if we take all 3 boxes of cereal and we averaged it out with all of our criteria, so we have 9 pieces of criteria, we get an average of 19.72% marshmallows. That's going by all 3. That's going by weight, volume, and count. So if we exclude count, because it seems like when they make their 25% claim, they're probably not thinking of count, then we get an average of 23.5% marshmallows. Still though, that's below 25%. That's below what they claim. And as so, I feel like I'm ripped off. Now that I have all this cereal and all these marshmallows separated though, what is one to do? Well, the only thing you can do, and the only thing that's worth doing, is the thing that every child who's ever eaten Lucky Charms dreams of.